Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Go on Overland. Friends, in this video I just want to take you on a short little tour. It's not going to be too long of a video, and I want to show you the rig. So we got a Dodge pickup, a 1979 Coachmen Camper, and I think it'd be cool just to show you a bit of this rig so that one day we can look back and kind of see where we were and where we're at then. But in the meantime, it's an awesome camper and I think you guys will get a kick out of it. So let's get into it. All right, let's take a look at the truck. So guys, we have a 2007 Dodge 2500. This is a gas truck, has the 5.7 Hemi, and it's two-wheel drive. Wah, wah, wah. So it sits a little bit low. You know, it actually usually has a rake, but because we have so much weight in the bed right now, it's pretty level, but usually it has a bit of a rake. Guys, we got this truck when we were in Maine. We had an older F-150 that broke down, and so we had to get a new truck. We picked this up in Maine. It was the only truck up there that wasn't completely rusted out. Randomly, this truck was actually from Florida, and so it was pretty clean underneath. Guys, there's not too much to talk about other than the fact that everything under the hood is practically brand new. All the ball joints, Dodge is classic for having the front end have issues. All the brakes are good. I've replaced a lot of that stuff myself. Then over here, this rear end is not the rear end that I got when I got the truck. We had a big issue. Couldn't get a new rear end fixed in there, so I ended up getting one from a junkyard and swapping that out myself. So I'm super stoked about that. But we have this old truck cap on there. Guys, we put lights inside there because we have a craft fair business, and at night we can light it up. I've showed you that in other videos, but check it out, it's just jam-packed. We've talked about the tools in here that I carry. Make sure and check out that video if you haven't. Guys, we have a ton of tools stashed along this, on top of this wheel well, and our entire craft fair business is inside the truck. So let's move on from there. Oh yeah, Red Arc Tow Pro brakes. We'll probably do a video on that later. Here's the rig. Guys, this is a 1979 Coachmen. My in-laws were gracious enough to give this to us, and then we actually, I think by the end of the video you might find it hard to believe, but we sank a little over $2,000 originally and easily another grand since the original rebuild. I'm going to try to show you up on the roof a little bit, because that's one of the biggest things, is we redid the roof. So it's a completely brand new roof up here. All these marker lights, the yellow lights, all these marker lights have been replaced. So all the side marker lights, everything's been replaced. This used to be an access point, but that didn't work in our current configuration. You'll see what we did in there. We took out the bench, and we ended up, there was a bench on this side, a bench on that side. Now we just have a bench running this way across the front. So that's what we did there. Guys, one of the things, and we did a whole series on this. Make sure and check that out. You can kind of tell right here, it's dropped down still about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. This whole entire wall has sank down because the roof went out. That caused rot, and the walls basically just dropped down. This thing was sagging. That was probably the biggest thing that we did on this camper, is got new axles. So this had the drop axles. They really wanted it to be as low as possible to the ground. So it was basically tearing out the fenders. So we got new axles. Well, they're old, but they're new to the camper. New axles, and we did a whole video on that. Guys, again, check out I'm gonna put a link up here somewhere. Make sure and check it out. It's a really good series of us tearing this thing completely apart and redoing it. Now, every single window has came out. We actually pulled the entire window out, put new butyl tape in between the aluminum here and the frame or the siding, and then we put caulking up there. This stuff didn't really last like we wanted it to, so it's actually better just to put a dab of caulking on there, and that's holding. Let's go around the back, representing Go on Overland. So across the back, you can see all that trim around the window is just completely gone, and now we're just running caulking. Again, brand new lights up top there. The whole front end on the inside from the door forward has been replaced. All the studs in the walls, practically every single stud. The entire front end has been replaced. The back end from the door back has not. You can actually see right here, we have a bit of a bow right there. So it's still kind of pushing out, and that actually makes our kitchen sink kind of tilt down. Again, guys, whether you have an RV or maybe it's an old bus or something, make sure and tarp this stuff when you're not using it. That's some pretty shoddy stuff going on there. But we have one new tire on the rig. We just got that. It's a beauty. Look at that tire. Oh, don't look at this one. So that's where our power cord comes out. That's the water if you're hooked up to city water, and then that's our filler spout. Got the Go On Overland. This side's pretty good. We did peel this apart and put butyl tape through there. That's our refrigerator, and then this is kind of fake. Again, we don't use that hatch anymore. Now we're back up to the front. We did get a new mount for the propane right here, so all this is new, safe and solid. And then just simple stuff like this hose. So when I told you guys we originally put like $2,000 into the camper, well, since then we've had to put on something like this. This hose is 75 bucks, you know, so it's just amazing how this stuff adds up. All right, let's go back around the front. The holding tanks, there's our drain right there. That's been a lot of work on this camper. Check out this site, by the way. So we're just buried in the woods over here in Georgia. There's a water down there, bit of a lake, so really pretty. We're zooming. There's Indiana. We got to take the trash out. So we usually have a bike hitch. That's right there. We had to mount that on. We don't use that hitch for anything. There's the hot water heater that is out, so we don't have hot water. We're hoping to upgrade this sooner than later, so stuff like that that'll nickel and dime you, we're just trying to avoid. And quite honestly, we get by with it pretty well. So guys, this is the camper. I want to take you inside, but again, remind you that you need to check out this whole series. We do like a video on the roof, we do a video on the axle swap, we do a video tearing apart the front end right here, and then just miscellaneous stuff like that. So check that out. Let's get inside and show you guys how nice it is in there. So of course, right here we have our 2 power stations. Those things we talk about a lot on this channel, and we live by them right now. And in here we actually have our water. So we just cut kind of a rugged hole out of this cabinet, and then now we can just fill up our waters there. So right away you can see our trash can and our little heater there. That's actually not the one that belongs in this camper. It's way underpowered, so we'd probably go with a Chinese diesel heater. And then we have our fridge. It's a Dometic, and it kind of blends in with the rest of the wood. And then a little cabinet above there. This is actually supposed to be gas and electric, but it's just gas. So this is all a part of our rebuild. We wanted it easily accessible so we can check for leaks, so it doesn't have the trim or the finishings. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Up here we have this crazy looking post, and as you can clearly see, that's actually putting a curve. That's the easiest way to get a curve so that the rain doesn't build up there. Again, we put a brand new roof on here, but that's actually a weird seam up there, and so we wanted to keep all the water moving away from there. This was a cool piece that we got over on Whidbey Island, and we decided to hang it up. I think it looks really good. A little hook my mom gave us, and then over here is a plant. We've been growing this plant for 5 to 7 years now, and it breaks and then it grows back. It's kind of dead in the middle, but we got an awesome plant there. Kind of a makeshift little rack there. We have these little windows because this door across here actually used to come down right here, and so those little windows on each side were so that the person in this fold down bunk bed could have a little bit of reprieve. And Over here we have this cabinet we built. That's of course the dog food, his bowl, a little table, and then a cabinet that we store some other stuff in. And then we have our drying rack. We do all of our stuff at laundromats. This is just a cozy spot. Over here is a bit more storage, miscellaneous stuff, some more boots, a cooler that we bring out on the weekends for shows so that we can have lunch right there, some more shoes, and then what do we have? A dog hook. And then these little baskets are kind of a new addition. We just have fruits and veggies and stuff like that, and it keeps it up out of the way, and some air can circulate through there and whatnot. Over here, our uncle painted this for us. We check it out every time we leave the camper, so that piece is really cool. Let's spin around and take a look at the rest of the camper. Alright, here's the rest of the living quarters. So here's the kitchen area. We have a fire extinguisher. We made that little backdrop. It's pretty fun. Jolene did. Then we have our stove with our spices. We don't use the oven, but we use the stove a lot. And then onto the sink, we use that every day. We have the French press coffee and another fire extinguisher because we don't want to have to try to reach for that one if the fire is here. So we got a fire extinguisher back here in the bed area. You know, we got the reading lights and then a couple of cubbies, hats galore, and we usually keep that back window pretty closed up right now because it's cold. Then we have a TV finally. We have the PlayStation back in that little area. And then now with those power stations, we can actually watch a movie. All these fans right here are brand new and they work really good, keep the air circulating. A tiny little closet right here. There used to be a bigger one that went all the way across this back area, and with some of the damage and leaks and stuff like that, we didn't feel that the walls needed to be supporting that extra weight. And as you come down here, this is where Indiana, our dog, chills. You know, at home he likes to be under the table or something, so he couldn't be happier. There's an electrical panel for the shore power, and then the 12-volt converter. If you're running shore power, it converts it down so that we can actually run 12-volt off of shore power. Got a little boat theme here. Here's a bathroom, just like you can imagine. Got that awesome wallpaper. Then a toilet, and we have holding tanks and stuff. There's a shower in there, but it's not working because we don't have hot water, so we shower at places like this. We're at the state park now, and that works for us. That's kind of the inside, guys. And now Indiana's out there chilling. He can't wait to get back inside and hang out in his little doggy hole.